talk about Howard real quick? I just figured I could have used this. I don't really care about the Trump clip itself, but I'm using it just to talk about Stern in general because I am very interested in the story while also not being shocked. Like, I saw a lot of people like, what? Howard's going to leave Sirius? First of all, we don't know that it's happening, which does make this clip wild. There's part of this Trump clip that I haven't seen enough people pay attention to. It's crazy how bad the media is. Like, journalism is such dog shit when you watch this. Just the way they talk confidently about things they know literally nothing about. But Stern, to the best of our knowledge, still is not there's no announcement, right, that he's leaving Sirius?
No, none. And he actually came on his show and like disputed it. And then the next day, today, there's an article about how the staff is preparing to leave and saving all the good bits.
But he didn't even dispute it. He just did a show to be like, I exist, right?
Yeah.
That's the weird. The weird thing about Howard is this rumor is everywhere. It's getting published everywhere. And Howard used to be the guy. What made Howard interesting is he was a guy that would turn on his microphone and talk about all the things he wasn't supposed to talk about. You know what I mean? Like if the company didn't want him to address whether or not he's going to resign, that's what he would start his show with and spend basically 4 hours on, was this rumor. But now he's a guy, he's more secretive than any mainstream broadcaster. Like now, because of Howard, even guys like Andy Cohen will be like, oh, did you hear the rumors about what's happening with Howard? Like Andy Cohen went on and talked about it on SiriusXM, and Howard won't address it. And that to me is ultimately the change. Like people will say he went woke, which is obviously true. Like if you heard his stuff during COVID. But Howard lost his audience way before this stuff. Like, people will try and make it seem like, oh, because of Howard's politics, he lost his audience. The greatest example of why Howard lost his audience is that what's it called? The Pelican Brief thing.
Yeah, that.
Where he's like, hey, go make fake Twitter accounts. We need Lady Gaga on the show. Make fake Twitter accounts and tell her how great the Howard Stern show is and why she needs to be on that. And I'll tell you the other thing that started to lose people. It wasn't this interaction in particular, but it was just this as an idea, as a concept. When he went after Ari Shaffir and was so completely out of touch, when this like cutting edge guy who had his finger on the pulse of everything happening in society, when you heard him say, hey, podcasting is a fad, what you need to do is cut your teeth in, a triple-digit market in Kentucky. Like, go do AM radio in Kentucky, and a bigger radio station will find you and then work your way to a major market. Howard was saying this in, 2014. It was crazy. It's like, that's just not how the business is. And I think being so out of touch is what lost a lot of people too, and maybe that's why Howard changed who he was. Let's hear this Trump clip a little bit, and then we'll talk more about Howard. But listen to this journalist who is just standing up, spreading his cheeks, and talking directly out of his asshole. He doesn't know anything, and he's like, "Yes, Mr. President, it's official. He's left. It's wild."
Yeah, I've got an entertainment-based question for you. A few weeks ago, Stephen Colbert announced that he was leaving his show. Howard Stern announced that him and SiriusXM Radio are parting ways.
None of that is true. Howard didn't address it. It wasn't announced. It was in some gossip column out of the UK or something. And people just picked it up and ran with it. Now, is there truth to it? Because no one is denying it. SiriusXM, is it like they seem to be ignoring it, except for Andy Cohen, who addressed it. It's a weird way to go about it if there's no truth to it. But how dog shit is journalism? Listen to the way he phrased that question. Howard Stern announced he's leaving. And then, it's one of those things where, when the media reports on you, you realize how terrible they are, or something you know about. Is this how every question is framed to the president about, real issues? They're like, oh, yeah, Howard announced he's leaving, or something. And I think Trump, that's what Trump is best at, is just being like, oh, all right, well, I'll answer the question the way you asked it, I guess.
Do you think the hate Trump business model that's been in the entertainment business is going out of business because it's not popular with the American people?
Well, it hasn't worked, and it hasn't worked really for a long time, and I would say pretty much from the beginning. Colbert has no talent. I mean, I could take anybody here. I could go outside on the beautiful streets and pick up a couple of people that do just as well or better. They get higher ratings than he did. He's got no talent. Fallon has no talent. Kimmel has no talent. They're next. They're going to be going. I hear they're going to be going.
So he's right about all of that. I mean, I guess they have some talent. Kimmel was very funny back in the day. Colbert did a good show. I wouldn't say they have no talent, but he is right in the sense that, like, the country has been like, guys, we got it. Trump is evil. We understand. We got the joke 10 years ago when you started doing them. Like, the idea that they obsess in their monologue every night. Yes, the country has gotten really tired of that, and it shows in how many people are watching. But I don't think that's accurate about Stern.
But I would imagine because they get, Colbert has better ratings than Kimmel or Fallon. You know that. Howard Stern, it's a name I haven't heard. I used to do a show, used to have fun, but I haven't heard that name in a long time. What happened? He got terminated?
Yeah, they're going to separate ways.
Hold on. Yeah. Look at how bad journalists are. The guy goes, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't exist anymore.
God, the media is dog shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Offering salary-wise is real low than what he's getting.
You know when he went down?
Whenever you want.
You know when he went down? No, before. When he endorsed Hillary Clinton, he lost his audience. People said, give me a break. He went down when he endorsed Hillary Clinton.
Mr. President, have you personally started interviewing Fed candidates yet?
No, all right, so there's truth to that in that Howard disowned. Some people say half his audience. I think a bigger percentage than that. Where Howard appealed to, like, blue collar guys, and he basically did the same thing Hillary did, where he called them deplorables. Like, Howard completely disowned his audience that he thrived off of for years, and pretended to be this man of the people. When he wanted to be accepted by Hollywood, he was basically like, "Fuck these ghouls." Like, he just insulted, I think, the vast majority of his audience, well over half. But I don't think the Hillary thing is what started it. I really think it's the idea of that Pelican brief had much more to do with it. Not just that video, but as an idea, as a way of being, like the Marcy Turk getting things done way of life. The idea that Artie was never on the show, like Artie, they never had Artie back, or they stopped having Gilbert Gottfried on, or all these people. That is fundamentally why. Like, if Howard seemed kind of left-leaning, but was still true to what he was, I think he would have an audience. Now, the rumor is 125,000 people are listening to him now.
Yeah,
like, he went from 120 million to 120,000 or something like that.
30 million, yeah.
I'll be honest, 125,000 per episode seems high to me. Like, that's still a good podcast. I don't hear a lot of people talk. Maybe it's just a totally different audience. Maybe it's soccer moms now or something. But I don't hear a lot of people going, "Oh, did you hear what was on Howard Stern this morning?" On a day-to-day. Like, if he has the fucking president on, people will talk about it. You know? But other than that, I don't hear people going, "Oh, man, did you hear Howard this morning?" Like, 125,000 an episode is a good-sized podcast. And I don't know that Howard is even doing those numbers, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, if you'll allow me, I have a few thoughts on this, because I do a show on multiple Stern guests. We listen to old Stern all the time, so I'm heavily influenced by Stern. I love that era of Stern. And I don't think that Howard was an idiot and didn't see podcasts coming. I think that the whole woke thing from Stern, if you put a thing to my head and said you have to vote, I think it was more an act of self-preservation, because the blackface, the N-words, the crazy shit that we forgot about that we catch.
That was smart. No one ever brings those up now. That's not the only tweets I saw when I looked up Howard Stern this week.
Yeah, and so, like, this whole turn and the Pelican brief, I think it was more of an act of self-preservation than like a creative turn. He does, at that point, so much money. I don't care about creative. I'm going to make sure they can't cancel me. I'm going to make myself uncancelable. I think that's what he tried to do.
I'll tell you why I don't agree with that.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know how much foresight he had with that, because that started before people were. I mean, like, there was some cancel culture going on. It wasn't as much the topic in 2012 as it became in 2015, 16, 17. Like, Howard started that turn of wanting to get on American Idol and America's Got Talent before. I don't think it was the canceling thing as much as wanting to be accepted by the people he was trashing. Like, so you could say there's an element of trying to avoid cancel culture, but like, he wanted to go to those parties with Jennifer Aniston and Ellen DeGeneres and all these people he had insulted before. So I think it's a lot more of that being accepted by Hollywood. He realized like he was never going to be accepted by, and to be clear, like I put Howard Stern canceled in the title because that's how the media is framing it for some reason. It might just be a negotiation tactic. Like he might still be on because for some reason there's still value in his name. Like he gets celebrities in the building that otherwise wouldn't be going on The Bonfire or Sam Roberts' show or whatever. You know what I mean? Like he gets people in the building because he has that respect. I don't know if Howard appreciated the fact that like Bradley Cooper would come on and be like, "Hey, Howard, I grew up listening to you." You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he had enough appreciation for that. He was like, "Oh, I said these horrible things about Rosie O'Donnell, so I'm not allowed to go to parties at Jimmy Kimmel's house." And he took that such to heart. And he looked at people like his audience and like Gilbert Gottfried and Artie Lang and Jackie and people like that. He looked down on them. Like he thought, "Oh, those aren't the elite. Those are scumbags that I don't want to be associated with anymore." The one thing I will give Howard a little credit with is like if you look at the people there, even like Sal and Richard, like the people that worked there that you know their name, they've all been there for over 20 years. Some of them 40. Like Gary and Robin have been with Howard and Fred for 40 fucking years, which is wild. So he does have loyalty in that regard, but he had no loyalty to his audience or what built him.
The fact that J.D. Harmeyer has held a steady job for 20 years is a goddamn miracle. So, yes, Howard has treated his people well. And he released in the statement, or some statement I saw by someone representing him, that he was blindsided by it because he wanted to make sure his people were good. And that's always sort of his defense in the negotiations. But I believe that one of these people, Howard or the Sirius camp, is behind the leak of the number 125K and all that, because this just sets up a negotiating position. Because Sirius's number one selling point, and I learned this when I worked selling cars a few years ago, is they have $1 billion deal with all these major car companies. And if they don't have like a name where they can go into a meeting room and be like, "All right, Chrysler, Howard Stern. Okay, yeah, let's put Sirius in our cars." If they don't have that name, and so having a really big, because that Marry Me Daddy or Kiss Me Daddy, whatever the fuck.
Call Her Daddy?
Yeah, that doesn't sell.
Yeah.
That doesn't sell cars. That doesn't sell radios and cars to boomers. And so you need to get like a boomer to sell to, because
that's what they're fucking up too, is their whole business model is being in cars.
Yes, it is wrong. It is a bad
phones. It's crazy. They stopped them online, which they were for a minute.
They have like $8.5 billion satellites up in the sky, Mike. They have to have the car thing. That's the whole business model. That's what every investor is counting on.
But here's the thing, like Howard used to do, that he built his career on, that for some reason he stopped doing and stopped being interesting. SiriusXM throws $100 million at Alex Cooper. Howard goes on the next day and goes, "What the fuck does Alex Cooper do? She's ripping me off. She does the Howard Stern model. She's just talking about blowjobs. I was doing this shit in '88. Like, that's what old Howard would have done." And I hear people say, "Well, he's a silent partner in SiriusXM. He owns all this stock and he cares how the company does." Howard was smart enough to know that if he shits on Call Her Daddy, what's everyone talking about the next day? Fucking Alex Cooper. Now there's 50-year-old guys going, "Who the fuck is Alex Cooper? Let me listen to this." Some of them might stick around. Like, it's ultimately a good thing for Alex Cooper to have Howard Stern shit on her. So even from the business perspective, it doesn't really make sense to go the route that he has gone, which is why. And you look at the staff of 95 people, which
that's insane.
I was the lowest ranking person, but I did work at a radio station. There were useless people at a place that owns 5 radio stations. That you didn't need 95 people. The idea that Howard needs 95 people for a show that's on 3 days a week is fucking crazy, particularly when he used to do it with Fred, Gary, Robin, Jackie, and a few interns, you know?
Yeah, I mean, look at how much it changed in another alternative world. There's a funeral for Call Her Daddy that Stern's doing, right?
Yes.
Like, oh, we beat her. But
and by the way, like, I don't know if maybe John DeBella and people like that would disagree with me. I think there's a little good in that for them. I think they became bigger. I don't know if they appreciated it at the time, but I don't know who the fuck John DeBella is if it's not for Howard Stern. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
DeBella's wife didn't appreciate it, but
I know it got dark, but you know what I'm saying.
Mark and Brian got funeraled out here in Los Angeles when Stern came out here, and it was not good for them. That next negotiation, they basically broke up because they weren't going to get the money because Howard took all the money.
That's where Opie and Anthony were smart, and they understood the good that comes of going at Stern. Like they would fight back at Stern. And in my mind, Opie and Anthony ultimately won because Howard was like, put a gag order on them. Don't let them mention my name. Mm-hmm. To me, that's Opie and Anthony winning that war. They were the one show that Howard couldn't have a funeral for, that Howard couldn't just decimate.
And Bubba, I would say. Bubba the Love Sponge is the other one that kind of
Bubba became like friends with him, right?
Yeah, did the like night show or the afternoon drive on Howard.
Yeah. But yeah, like I ultimately think like, and you look at Colbert, too. Like, people point to his politics and everything. He was number one in that time. Say what you want about his politics. He was number one. I think his show seems like dog shit from all the clips that I've seen. But more people were watching him than any of those other shows, except Gutfeld, by the way. But so there is like a political element, I guess. But I think it's much more that Colbert had 200 fucking people working for him, and they were hemorrhaging money on the show. And I think that's what that's what Sirius is looking at with Howard too. The interesting thing, Carl brought this up to me on Thursday that I didn't really think about, is like if they own that catalog, are they just going to play everything? Like, are they going to play?
If they want listeners, they'll have the RDs.
You know what I mean? Like, so is Howard going to let that go? Is he going to be willing to give it to them?
Yes.
You think so?
I don't. Yes, I think he has to because A, they're going to back up a Brinks truck. But B, like, that's a legacy. I think you have to know in your head that, like, once you walk away, everything that you said on air needs to be out there.
According to E-Rock, I was listening to Carl and E-Rock talk about it. According to E-Rock, Howard's already wiped some of that stuff out. Like, even if they want to play stuff, there's certain stuff with Artie Lang or certain stuff from, back in the days where they were really crazy in the 90s that Howard's, like, already gotten rid of, that they might not even have access to.
Well, thank God for Mark's friggin' and all the people that the YouTubes because
that's the other thing. Is it worth it to Sirius? It's all on fucking YouTube.
Yes, because you could chop this up like we did. Imagine like a professional unboxing, where they actually go through tapes with people who care and you have the backstory. I mean, you could hire a whole bunch of people that could have fun with it in a way that Howard seemingly can't. And yes, that would be fun. It would kind of be like getting the gang back together, Yeah.
And the problem with finding a new Howard Stern, I know they're obviously trying to do that with Alex Cooper and Smartless. And I keep saying this. They bought the Kelsey Brothers podcast too, right? They gave them a ton of money, I think. So, like, they keep trying to find these people that will replace Stern. The reason that will never happen is because they are a radio company. They have a radio business model for some reason still, and there are no radio stars the way Howard Stern was. It's not going to exist. You're not going to find someone that's doing that. I listened to Drew Lane talk about it, and they were throwing out names. They were like, what about like Corolla? He kind of does like the radio model. You think Corolla's getting people to sign up for Sirius the way Howard did 20 years ago? No chance. Like there is no name like that. If you bring in a massive star, they're not going to get people to buy radios. It's just not how that business works anymore. Because if you say, hey, we're making Alex Cooper exclusive, people will be like, all right, I'll listen to fucking Girls Gotta Eat podcast or Hannah Burner's podcast or whatever the fuck.
Go to blindmike.net for everything Blind Mike. Look at me. I did it. Krager's did it.